So this afternoon, we've got a little bit of dry time, but it's going to rain again later today. So the plan is to get the solar panels ready for mounting, and that means putting the hardware on. I picked up these brackets at Menards, $1.79 each, I believe. This is what I used on the Windy Nation ones. They are good and solid. I will put 2 holes into the rails of the solar panel, bolt these on, and then we'll use a lag screw to attach them to the 4x4s on the rack. So what I'm going to be doing today is marking and drilling holes and getting these bolted on. So I have the wires for all 4 panels are here on this end. This is actually the 4 that will sit at the back of the rack, and these are going to be next to each other. So these 4 will all be parallel together. So the important thing is to make sure they get their holes are all in the right place, or the same place. So I did measure. It is 1 foot from the back, and the next 4x4 is 3 feet. Now we're just going to line up a bracket, and we are going to mark the holes. Now we can drill. Now we can flip these over and mark the other side and get those drilled. And again, measuring from the back of the panel. Okay, we're going to clean the metal shavings off of these, and we will start putting the brackets on. Okay, so we got one done. I've got 5 more to do, and then we will be ready to put these up on the rack. So once I have the first 2 panels in place, I could then tighten down the U-bolts on the 4x4s and lock them into place. That the 4x4s are in place, I can add the last 2 solar panels to that route. Once the solar panels were in place, all 4 panels were attached by their brackets with 1.5-inch lag screws. the solar panel rack was designed to hold 12 panels. At this point, the plan was to only have 600 watts or 6 panels. So the last 2 panels for this group were then installed. Okay, so the panels are all wired. The first set of 4 there go into that junction box, and then that comes back to this Y splitter here, and then the 2 single panels also go into that, leaving me 1 empty one that I will use later. So the thing we got to do now is run our cables down through the hole and get them hooked up to the charge controller. Okay, so the wires come in from the top there, and they come down, and mine were a little short. I had to splice them in for now, and I'll just do new ones later on. I've got some serious cable management to do up above, and I've got some to do down here as well. So the first thing we hooked up on the solar charge controller was the positive for the battery, and then the negative, and then we brought in the negative and the positive from the solar panels. The charge controller came right up. I had no problems programming it. It connected the control panel. Honestly, the only issue I ran into was connecting the remote temperature sensor, and I'm not really worried about that for right now, since these are flooded lead acid batteries, so I'm not really worried about that. But I definitely have some cable management to do. We've got wires running everywhere, so I'm going to tack some of that stuff down and clean this up. But we now have 600 watts of solar charging our 3 deep cycle batteries.